we noticed the same narrative in healthcare space, where healthcare professionals, nurses, doctors, whoever is working with the patient first line, when they are stressed and burnt out, this conversation is not mainstream.
I'm not sure if it's a stigma, me personally, but I start hearing other people's stories, and I realize that we have a very huge stigma in the country or in the region, I would say, or arms in general.
You know, if they put it into their strategy to have someone who is expert, for example, to come into the organization and support them with that, that could definitely make a difference, as you're saying.
I don't want to bring more evil eye into my life more. So it could go, different angles into this. But I think if we, when I say we, I mean you guys.
Yeah. But now you're part of the we. So.
Welcome to the second episode, From Hero to Human. Safe space for normalizing conversations about mental health for healthcare professionals and beyond. This is a space to raise awareness, to create a different kind of narrative. We are here shifting the narrative from hero to human. You might ask why? Because as humans, we have limits. 200% productivity and always switched on mode is not sustainable for us as humans. Although we're gonna be inviting to this conversation guests that might have done some heroic acts in their life to raise awareness about the importance of looking after the mental health issues, we are still humans in the end. So this is my message in here for the start.
That's amazing, Magda. Every time we sit together, this energy is created that I cannot express what it is. And today we have an amazing guest that is joining us as well. And for us here, from hero to human, we really focus on connecting with people and finding the joy and focusing on important matters that needs to be dealt with and talked about. One of the things that I have realized recently is that wellness is very important. I think we're in a culture where it's more of a reactive kind of way to illnesses, to anything that's going on. And we miss out on the importance of wellness. It's an active pursuit of activities, choices, and lifestyles. And it's more of a proactive manner. And it's more of a kind of a human responsibility to actually take that action to say to yourself, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take care of my mental health and I'm going to support people that do the same.
Amazing. I feel the energy every time you say human, the energy raises in the room. So today we have a privilege, actually it's an immense privilege, and I am humbled to have invited Adel AlFalasi to our platform. Adel, I have followed you on Instagram and on LinkedIn platform since the beginning of this year. I am impressed by the journey. I have seen how you have grown, especially with raising your voice to the level that you are now the hero for mental health awareness. But actually, when we had this conversation during the awards this year, and I talked to you that you are the hero, I very quickly corrected myself and I said, you are our human. You are not our hero.
Yeah, I do remember that conversation very clearly. It's just like yesterday. So first of all, I would like to say sorry and thank you so much for having me here today as your guest. It's a privilege and it's an honor, and I'm humbled to share my journey or what I've been through. So as much as possible that we can help the silent sufferers that has not yet been spoken out, or they don't have a voice yet. So when you corrected yourself from telling me or hero that you say Lord human, the heroic act will be to an individual where they are, I think, when they are handling a very huge and very intense situations, like in the war zones. To me, those are the ones are heroic ones, truly. Even though, yeah, we are different individuals, we go through different situations, journeys, challenges. We build our own unique resilience, I would say. So at the end of the day, I don't want to be seen as heroic and disregard the other humans that they are truly heroic in their own stories and in their own resilience. So as a human, we all needs to be looked at similar or treated similar to Noah or Everett, I would say.
That's fantastic what you just said. And I think one of the keywords that I grasped is silent sufferers. And I think when we talk about mental health, it becomes evident that a lot of people do not know how to seek the help, are afraid to actually seek the help. They are worried they will be judged. And they are definitely worried about the stigma of mental health. From your experience, Adel, how did you deal with the stigma of mental health?
I wasn't sure if it was a stigma or not because I grew up not even knowing that I had mental health. Even though when I was diagnosed recently, after trying to discover why I had the stroke, because the doctors did not have a very clear explanation why I had the stroke. So to discover the neurological issue that I had, that's where I started going or facing the reality that I was sick for whole years. And I think from there, I'm not sure if it's a stigma, me personally, but I started hearing other people's stories, and I realized that we have a very huge stigma in either in the country or in the region, I would say, or art in general. We do have a stigma for that. But me facing stigma, I think I faced the stigma at my work. Yes.
When you are talking actually about the stigma in the Arab world, I come from Western world. Yes, maybe the conversation is more open about mental health. However, me being here in the UAE for the last 6 years, the approach of the leadership of the government, them putting out, the legislation and really pushing forward to open that conversation, to give people safe spaces, I think this is another level. I feel others should follow this example because it's really courageous from the ruler of the country to say we have now the mental health strategy and this is where we're going to be going.
Yes, and Delena, that's spot on actually, about having programs, initiatives, policies nationally, organizational-wide, because when you open that space for people to be feeling that it's okay to come forward and express what's going on mentally, emotionally, and there are people or there are places that can support you, that's one step to help them to overcome it. And another way of looking at it is that when you have these strategies in, people feel that they are drawn to take the action and they are going to have someone around to support them and to guide them.
Now, how easy it is to take that action? Because when we started this platform 8 months ago, when we started first the thriving together and then from hero to human, how easy it is for one individual to start a conversation. When we are suffering silently, a lot of people suffer silently. And we noticed the same narrative in healthcare space where healthcare professionals, nurses, doctors, whoever is working with the patients, first line, when they are stressed and burnt out, this conversation is not mainstream. So how this individual can get empowered to start that conversation? Adel, do you have any advice from your side? Like, we now know that you are almost an entity that goes around and talks about inspiration. People you listen either. So how is to get this courage to go out there and share what you are sharing?
I mean, our leadership, they are doing a very incredible, work on the ground as well. So opening up that conversations or empowering people, especially the silence ones that comes out, I think, by creating different type initiatives, either through art, the art could be a therapeutic way of expressing and letting people connect. And even though they're not reaching to medical attention or to seeking to that, but they can connect with different type of people, sharing their stories by when they are sharing their arts or their artwork or either their instrument or whatever that might be. Another one, I think, education, early intervention or early education in schools and not just in the universities. I think if they can implement it in the curriculum and in the elementary school, where adults could actually fathom the differentiation between someone who's really sick and someone who's really just having a breakdown or got through anxiety or depression or the real illness, how it looks like.
I like how you said that there could be people who can actually find out if someone is going through a hard time. I think the mental health first aid course that we both take is one of the ways that we can introduce this to the youth, to children, and integrate it in healthcare and schools, in organizations like governmental organizations, so that people can have that knowledge and awareness that if you spot certain number of symptoms or signs from your colleague or your boss or whoever that person might be, please raise it. And please let's find ways to actually promote support for them from within the organizations. Because what I see now in healthcare is that it's so reactive. People get sick, they come, they get their treatment, and they leave. They forget about the proactive way or the preventive way to actually not reach the illness. And for me, it was a struggle as well because, I always push myself to the limit and I burnt out all through my career. And recently I've gone through that type of burnout. And unfortunately, I didn't have that person or, an entity that can, shake me and say, listen, don't go this way. It's going to really break you. I think it's very important that we have those guidances that we need in this society.
I think also is almost a double-edged sword. So on one side, the individuals, they need to have awareness that being in the hero narrative and pushing yourself beyond the almost toxic resilience is not the way to achieve success. On the other hand, when I talk to leaders or even nurses and doctors, they are saying every single time is the same answer. I don't think that I had the right skills. One, to start the conversation, and two, I don't feel that there is anyone in the organization to listen to me. And we can see now, that's why I've been advocating tirelessly for people to start investing in their human skills. And when I talk about human skills, I refer emotional intelligence, mental agility. How do I hold that space? Am I comfortable if someone is going to tell me I am not okay? What am I going to do in that moment? And it's not about being a therapist and, psychiatrist and providing treatment. It's just to hold that space, recognize whether there is something within my limit that I can do, or do I need to refer this person somewhere else? Yes.
I like how you mentioned that there's no other organization that if I will do it, they will understand me. Or I don't have the set of skills that allows me to carry the conversation or to make them understand. I think, in my humble opinion, if we would understand how people actually perceive mental health to begin with at the leadership leadership flow. When I say leadership, I mean CEOs, CEO, and all those titles. Even the doctors themselves. Some of them, like from a different specialty, they're not really familiar with the mental illness diagnoses or how the neurological issues works in their field or how it is interconnected to their field. So what I'm trying to say is that leaders who have a team of 500 or 1,000 or 5,000, why they don't seek enhancement for their skills through their psychology and or therapists, or because they took how do I say it? I'm trying to translate from Arabic to English. They took the chance of life chance to go into this specialty to understand and to study for years how the human behavior works, how their brain works, or how the conscious and subconscious and the unconscious works too. So they do understand how to enhance certain area of your skills, like your either soft skill or hard skill, both of to handle different type of challenges and situations within their organizations. So to start with leaders, and then whoever in their team, they will look up to that leader, the CEO or whoever. So if we target these titles, I think whoever looks up to them, they will get focused easily.
I like how you said that. And before we were talking about we like to shake the boat, and this is exactly what we mentioned, in that it has to start from the top. And that's what we promote, the human-centered leadership, where you focus on the individual person in front of you. You try to listen and understand and empathetically try to find ways to support that human. And I think a lot of leaders at the CEO and C-suite levels, they are probably scared themselves to actually admit that they don't understand much of the mental wellness or the mental health. And, if they put it into their strategy to have someone who is expert, for example, to come into the organization and support them with that, that could definitely make a difference, as you're saying.
I don't know. Yeah, scared. Not sure if they're scared. Probably most genuine feeling that will rush into you is feeling fear or scary or embarrassed or ashamed, or either I don't want to bring more evil eye into my life. So it could go, different angles into this. But I think if when I say we, I mean you guys.
But now you're part of the we.
I mean, to make them understand, we have to come from a different angle, which is, for example, God forbid, how about I go with whatever that CEO or whoever that leader is. I'm pretty sure somewhere someone from his relative or his family is suffering from chronic disease. So people who suffer from chronic disease, somehow at some point they will suffer from at least anxiety or depression or overthinking or something somewhere. They will go through the mental challenges. So to make them understand all type of illnesses first, then the impact of that into mental health, I think that's what enlighten them in the right way, probably. Just like now, if they are scared to share their own stories, why we when I break my own hand, I will rush to tell people because it's very obvious. I had what's the name?
The cast.
The cast, yeah. On my hand, and then if they see it, they will be like, "Oh, what happened to you?" And I will tell them the full story and exactly what happened, or either I will take out something. But then, if something is invincible that they cannot see, for example, I'm going through chemotherapy, or I'm going through. I just did That's gonna be our index come. So I will share with that with people. But if I'm suffering from a mental illness, I'll be like, no, they're gonna look at me like I'm crazy now.
So it's almost like it's invisible, so it doesn't help.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There's so many different ways or different layers. Also making it more complex for people proceeding it in the whole way.
That's why we always start with definitions. So this is one of the approach in mental agile coaching. When I approach people that come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different religion, we need to make sure that the definition that we are talking about is unified. So I never say, mental health is this, till I will ask Adel what mental health means for you. You cannot progress to having a good outcome on people understanding things. And when we are joking in here, like, it's you guys or whatever, I used to be this kind of leader that did not understand that well-being should come first. So I raise my head, and this is a very vulnerable disclosure. I learned how to be a human-oriented leader. I realized that I cannot push others to the way I was pushing myself. I was the hero in the NHS back in the UK, and even here during the pandemic, I was the hero. And then the breakthrough came, and I realized there are different ways of doing and being. We are human beings. Then I started studying the theories, right? Human psychology, conscious, subconscious, mentoring, coaching, facilitation. The science is there. And when we say that leaders are scared, actually there is a saying that there is no place for being scared in leadership. Because we come to this position, we have almost the duty to go and educate ourselves. We are now living in the era of abundance, information, technology, resources. Everything is there. So I cannot say that the information is not available to me. However, I'm not just preaching here. I know it is overwhelming just to access the right type of information and educate ourselves, right? And being the C-suite, sitting there on the top, believe me, the pressure is huge.
Yeah. Well, we only can imagine. And since you went through it, in Arabic, you just reminded me, in Arabic, we have a saying, we say, this and here. It means whoever asks will never get lost. So just ask for the right information. If you don't have the willing to learn and you don't have the willing to correct your own self, also because the knowledge keeps progressing and it keeps changing, it keeps developing. If you are stuck and you're staying in the behind and you think whatever you learned is it's the all knowing or it's the full information, then you will never have that the would say the setup mind to progress or to thrive properly.
Magdalena, I love when you said when we have definitions, we understand words in a different manner and in a different context. And mental wellness is defined by the Global Wellness Institute as a dynamic, renewable, and positive internal resource that helps us to think, to feel, to connect, and to function. So that's emotionally, physically, psychologically. And it's also an active process that helps us to build resilience, to grow, and to flourish. And my focus today is a lot on the wellness as well, the proactive part of the wellness, so that we don't reach to the level of needing to go through the whole hurdle of, diagnosis and disease and illness, even though we will have to in case of certain diseases that, it's inevitable. And from this perspective, I wanted to ask Adel, how was your journey from understanding what was challenging for you in your mental health, and how did you try to overcome it?
After discovering that I have to go to psychiatrist, I was very hesitant to accept the fact that I need to go to them actually. And then when I overcome that only only to take a report from them so I can go to the first hospital, tell them, there we go, I'm okay, nothing wrong with me. So I was still struggling to overcome it, actually, and not to be in peace with the fact that the reality is actually telling me that it's okay, I had a little illness, and I need to let these people do their specialty and let them help me in the right way. So, I think that at the very, very, very beginning, it helped me a lot with this psychologist she was very, very intelligent and very smart. She knew how to give me the right tools. And even though she a little bit had a hardship by not making me, but by telling me to draw again and to do the physical activity so it can help me heal my subconscious. That took a very long time until I reached Dr. Onada. After 12 doctors almost went through different from private to government hospitals. Dr. Onada, she gave me the exact ultimate purpose, I would say, to help others and to share the artwork, which helped me, I think, overcome everything. So she applied the rule of the functional recovery. So I think that's it. Yeah, that's how I understand it. So she helped me with making my progress be a functional recovery by using my art, I think.
And you didn't know that you were artistic, like you didn't have that in you.
No, I was just copying my father because my father he draws and he used to when I come back home and we have this assessment or assignments from school to do it at home with our family. So to bring it back into the school when they give you scores, and then I always will come back home. I'll tell my father, so they gave me this and I need to do something. He said, you know what, let's draw. I'm like, what am I going to draw? He says, the enemy or the cartoon that we are watching. So my father used to watch a Japanese cartoon enemy, which is not in our normal channels. So he used to play with the dish as well to bring this channel up. It's just a Japanese channel. And there was one character he used to draw it for me. So that stuck in my head, and I used to copy and paste what he used to draw a lot. And then I think that's the beginning of my drawing. With the time, through school and through my study in Abu Dhabi as well, in Adnoc Institute, I started falling in love more with the pencil or with the black. That developed to drawing people, drawing everybody, and then I used to share when we were at school, people used to laugh and seize my drawing in a very weird way, and then I stopped doing that. And then when I was doing it at work, and there's a guy who told me, why don't you do it on a high scale instead of doing it very small?
Mm-hmm.
Or try to do it on computers since you love computers a lot. And then that's when I also started learning about different programs like Adobe Photoshops and After Effects and Illustrators and all that as well. So fast forward to Dr. Anahada, when she told me in one of the refills, she asked me how the people with your diagnosis tend to be creative. So, do you have something that you do outside your work? I told her, yeah, I play guitar or I play on piano a little bit and I write poems and small stories. And I draw. I have drawn. She said, "Shit, would you like to show it to me?" I said, yes. And then from there, she knew how to care.
And it's a beautiful story you are describing here. It's not just patient diagnosis label, off you go. It's something in between. It's almost like, yes, you suffer at the beginning, but it was a meaningful suffering. You found a true meaning to help yourself, but also to help others. I mean, I've seen your artwork, and for me, beautiful.
Yeah, she's the one who discovered that meaningful. Functional recovery. Yeah, she's the one. Well, I was drawing already, but I wasn't sharing it with. I was barely sharing it with anyone. Only the people that I think, let's bring him to my work. And then they get a bit scared, or they like, you're weird, or what is this? I don't understand this. So it wasn't connecting really good, so I stopped doing it. I would draw from time to time, and then I will crumble it and toss it to a partner. So they share to anyone. Yeah.
Wow. What was the name again? Doctor?
Dr. Nahda.
Dr. Nahda. So this is a shout out to Dr. Nahda because of your focus on the human being. Today we have Adel sitting here with us, and he is doing an excellent job in terms of advocating for mental health. And recently he was the judge actually for the Mental Awards 2024. And that's quite impressive, you know, from your journey, the way that you're talking about it. And fast forward to now, look at you. Honestly, kudos and full respect. And it's an honor to be sitting here today with someone like you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, all thanks and all crazy goes to Allah Almighty first, and then Sama to Nahda, who knew how to make it functional in society or in everything that is possible today. And then, as well, thanks to Scott, who gave us the platform to bring us out and to do the award ceremony and to empower and to encourage as well to push it even more forward. Yeah.
Love it. What I'm hearing here is that there are many different ways how we can start that conversation about mental health. It doesn't need to be me sitting in front of you and asking, how are you doing? Are you suffering? Something is going on. And very often in coaching, mentoring practice, I've embraced tools like art, right? So why don't you draw for me? What are you feeling? Because very often the words are not coming. We are just tight. We are sitting, we cannot say. There is shame. Okay, there is shame. But very often there is no shame. We just starting drawing and see whatever is coming up. What I've also noticed through mental health first aid work, majority of people just need a safe space. And what I mean safe space, just to sit with someone in silence. We don't need to talk. You don't need to tell me the whole story, but just come sit next to me. If tears are coming, I am able to embrace your tears. If you want to tell me your story, I am here to hold the space. And again, these are not the skills that I was taught in my nursing school, in my MBA, or in my leadership training. Yeah. You don't get that. You don't get that, unfortunately. That's why we can now see the shift towards human-oriented leadership. Employees are actually asking for human skills training, and this is the recent study by Deloitte. What they don't only want strategic and technical, they want skills on human skills. How do we deal as humans with other humans? How do I embrace you if you are not doing okay? How do I embrace myself if I'm not doing okay? Do I continue smiling through the tears and screaming inside? Or I'm gonna go and fight someone? Because believe me, there is someone in your tribe. There is someone in your circle who is able to listen to you and to give you that at least initial relief to what is going on.
Absolutely, 100%. And I'm sure with what you do and at work or at home, there are still challenges that may come And there are certain ways probably that you would deal with them that others might learn from. So what are some of the ways that you have developed through your journey in overcoming certain challenges?
No, I need to think really deep because I was somewhere else.
Good. You want to take us there? Because we can go there and we can come back here.
Yeah, something that I developed after. Okay, so turn up taught me to keep notes, and those notes is just like people journaling.
Yeah.
But my journaling is a little bit different. It's just to monitor myself because I have a complex mental illness. One of them is very dissociative fugue. So I will zone out, or something will happen that whole day either will be erased, or certain hours or certain time because of some situations, it will go away. So I will have I will be clueless to that incidents or that situation, wherever that I went through. So keeping notes on myself was a way of monitoring myself, where I was or with who I was or who I was talking to. And I've learned so much about myself just by doing that. So this just gave me, so when I say I have self-awareness, so what's good for self-awareness if I'm not putting in action to change something bad that I'm doing already?
Wow.
So that was, for me, I'm aware of myself that I had this bad habit here. But then with those notes that she taught me to do it and monitor myself in a way, it clicked in my brain. I was like, because I have this bad habit and this is happening, so I need to change the whole thing again. So that's one of the things that I think I've developed because of how she convinced me to my thoughts.
She had to convince you.
Yeah. It didn't come out. It didn't correct actually. Plus, she has, it's just, I don't know, it's the way she speaks, I was, yeah, we'll do it. And again, I'm doing it. I rarely will tell someone, yes, I will do it, unless they convince me why, for what, and how.
We're very lucky to have you that tip.
I'm doing this for the right causes.
There is so many synergies between what you are saying and what we are actually trying to raise awareness about. Because I have this magic 3-step formula: awareness, choice, change. Once I have awareness, I have a choice. I'm gonna take that action. I'm gonna achieve a different outcome. However, not making a choice is also a choice. I can choose to ignore. And this is not a bad thing because it might not be practical. It might not be doable at this specific moment in time. And then I might come back to it again next day, next week, next month. So awareness, choice, change. Every time you want to change something, every time there is a transformation, you want to achieve a goal, just put yourself a 3-step magic formula and go for it.
No, that's so cool. No, and it works because I tried it last time when you mentioned it. I was like, Magdalena, I'm going to adapt this that you said. And, it takes a bit of time for the mind to actually shift into doing that. But once you train it that this is the right way, the formula is just magical. And yes, saying it is magic. It works.
Action is scary, right? So I'm joking, this is magic, because initially you would be scared to make that choice. But when you take that choice and you see a different outcome, then okay, I got a good outcome last time, let me try again. Absolutely.
I think us as a human being, it's a human nature of us. We love shortcut. We love to give ourselves a bit of relaxed solutions, I would say. That
Fixes.
Yeah, quick fixes, and then please don't boggle my mind with this. Just make it quicker, see how it fits, and you solve it.
Yeah.
This set of mine, it's just how do you want to progress, or how do you want to learn, or how you want to be either creative, or you want to ignite or spark those
The neuroplasticity.
the network that you had it ourselves. How do you want to ignite them or spark them to be, to create or to learn new skills if you don't face the challenge yourself? Like you divert from it, or you just delegate it to someone else, or you do it like. I think we all have our own way of prioritizing things. What's important for me, well, it's not important, and then they mix all that in a way that make things easy for me.
I hear a story of courage, a story of curiosity. You are embracing a lot of curiosity to find solutions. And if we mentioned it's not about the answers, it's about the questions. When I start asking the questions, I'm gonna come to the answers.
Yeah. I love how you said curiosity. I don't see myself like as a curious person actually, but what I see is that I have two things, or it's a one thing actually. I see the religion, Quran, and the Sunnah, the way the lifestyle of the Prophet, peace be upon him, are something holy and sacred. No one comes. This is just a red line, and then anything else will have a question mark for me. So I view every single thing as a question mark.
But you don't just accept blindly whatever is coming.
I have to know where it comes from. For example, I was having a conversation with this person. He's a doctor. They have an association here. And I was drawing with him, and then he said, so we were drawing our own flag because we had the National Day. And then he told me, this is how your flag looks like? I said, no, this is Palestine's flag. So it's just because of similar colors. And we were joking together. And I told him, so I just wanted to learn how he thinks. I do this a lot. So I asked him, where does flags comes from anyway? And how flags started.
Wow.
So he went all the way back as a military, because they have, they raise their flags and the way, and then he starts sharing his knowledge duty, and I was really impressed that he quickly went there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then that's curiosity for me.
Absolutely. And very inquisitive mind, I would say, in that, you question things and don't take anything lightly. And that I think that's also part of that, how you overcame a lot of your struggles, because you question things and you don't just say, okay, whatever. What do you think is the most pressing issue for mental health today in our societies? Pressing? Yeah.
What do you mean by pressing?
So pressing, I would say, what is the hardest thing to actually create better opportunities for people to easily come and talk about mental health in our societies?
Males or females, we all are in the same boat at the same time. We are facing different ideology from different angles that is not aligned with how our environment is shaped, or our culture and the way we handle things differently. That's one challenge. Social media is a huge double-edged sword.
Yeah.
People are throwing so many misconceptions about mental health, and then other people are trying their best, just like you guys are trying to do. Some others are doing a very good job too. So I think, on both ways, we need the right people. I think we will have enough quantity if we have the right quality to do the right ripple effects.
I love that. We will have the right quality if we have enough control. That is the powerful message.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I just said.
We depict. This is a very powerful final nugget, yes, for this conversation. Actually, thank you for making it so light because I enjoyed the laughter. Absolutely. Even though we are discussing sometimes issues, mental health is not always funny, but to bring the laughter and to connect on the human level, this is what we love, right? Human connection. Embrace the human in front of you. Embrace my own humanity. Learn the human skills. Please learn the human skills so you can help the other person that is not doing well. And also you can ask for help when you are not doing well. So any final message for our viewers from your heart?
I will always say, even if you tell me draw it, I will draw the same thing. To listen, and to listen attentively, actively. So we need to learn how to listen actively, because in Arabic we have a word that says inslat. Inslat is way different than isma, or listen, or hear. So in English, I would say to learn how to listen, not just to listen to react or to listen to answer, to have all references. We need to listen actively of what exactly I'm hearing from this person. So if we will have a help with the people who, from psychology, who knows this topic very extensively, I would say we need to create a course or a program and call it listening skills, different than the communication skills.
I did, honestly, you're just fascinating. No, but that's so true because we've had many guests that were focusing on listening, and we had the whole session on active listening. And when you say Ansat, you are so right, because not sometimes, a lot of people, they don't understand how to listen, they don't know how to listen, and they just respond because, something just dinged in their mind and they had to say. And it's actually been a very fruitful and informative and loving conversation, honestly.
Refreshing it, yeah. So, guys, if you like what you hear, what you see, if you like the energy, please, please, please subscribe, like, and share it with others. We want to take this conversation global. We don't want to just stay here in the UAE. We want to help as many people as possible. So, sharing is caring. Until next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.